Alright, welcome to the official Angry Birds tier list. For this one, I'm only using birds from the original game because that's the only game that fucking matters. Alright, let's get straight into it. So first up, the classic one, Red. Not much to say about him. He don't got any special abilities or powers, but he is a solid choice. And as you'll see, as we move on further in the tier list, I would much rather have Red than some of these other birds in my arsenal. With that being said, I'm gonna still put him in the middle of the tier list. Let's say B for base because I'm using him as my base. So basically, any bird above him, I'd rather use or is I think better, and anything below is some dog shit doo that I do not want to use. Alright, so next up we got the yellow bird, the speedster. Basically his ability is to move hella fucking fast. I say he's a pretty solid choice, and I do like this bird a lot. Can do some good damage with his speed, and he's kind of just like another red. If he was just fast. So for that, I'm gonna put him in A tier. Solid choice for a bird. All right, next up we got the white bird. Basically her ability is just to drop an exploding egg. But I'm gonna put her. I'm gonna put her in C tier. Honestly, it's one of my least favorite to use. To be honest, you need insane accuracy because she only drops one egg, so you need to make sure that shit drops exactly where you want it to. Otherwise, you're fucked. And the collateral damage from the explosion that it causes isn't even that much. So, yeah, honestly, I'd rather just use red. So because of that, I'm gonna put her below in the C tier. All right, next up we got the bluebird. I kind of have mixed feelings. I feel like in certain situations this bird can be pretty good. And other times it really doesn't do a whole lot of damage. They're pretty small, and even though you can dispense 3 of them, sometimes it still doesn't get the job done. I think overall though, they're not too bad of an option. I'm gonna put them next to red and B tier, but they're going behind him for sure. Next up, we got one of my all-time favorites, the Bombird. I mean, there's not much to say about him. He's pretty strong, pretty big, does a lot of damage just off his hits. And then on top of that, he does hella collateral damage when he explodes. Honestly, one of the best birds to use. I'm going to put this one in S tier. Alright, next up, we got this pink bird. All she really does is create some bubbles after she hits the structures. And then that can kind of lift some of the other pigs or structural pieces in the air, and then they'll fall and break. It's not too bad of an ability, but again, not one of my favorites to use really. I'm gonna put her. I'm gonna put her in C, but I'm gonna put her above the egg one. I think she's still better. All right, next up we got this orange bird. He doesn't do a whole lot either. He starts out pretty small, so he doesn't do a whole lot of damage off rip. And then once you dispense him, you can like tap the screen and make him blow up till so he gets all fat and shit. I mean, it's another alright ability. If you have weak pieces, like if you're on a stage with lots of glass or wood, it can be alright. But overall, again, not one of my favorites. I'll put him in C, and I'll actually put him behind the egg one and the bubble one. I think I'd rather use them. But yeah. Alright, next up we got the big ass red bird. And honestly, I like this one. I like this one a lot. He's pretty big, does a lot of damage, can break through a couple concrete pieces in one go. Definitely a solid option for sure. I'll put him in A. Actually, nah. This might be an S tier bird. I don't think he's quite as good as the bomb, but he's definitely up there. If there are any 2 birds I could use in any stage, I'd pick these 2 for sure. All right, lastly, we got this green bird. And if you don't know what he does, he's kind of just like a boomerang. So you throw him, right? And then when you tap the screen, he comes around backwards like a boomerang. And honestly, fuck this bird. This might be one of the worst birds in the game. Like, there are very few stages where I've been like happy and glad to have this bird. If anything, he's more annoying than anything because you'll send him flying, and then his trajectory of like how he's gonna turn around, and his boomerang motion is so like uncertain. It's so hard to hit anything. You have to like be pinpoint accurate, especially if he's like your last bird in your arsenal. It's just a fucking pain in the ass to try to like complete the stage with him. So honestly, fuck this bird. D tier bird, worst one of them all. Never. Every time I see him in a stage, I just get pissed off because I'm like, fuck, now I gotta use him. All right, that's it for the official Angry Birds tier list. This is all fact, no fiction, law, not opinion. Thanks for watching. If you disagree, you're wrong. Peace.